Wow. Well, last week we lost Charlie Kirk, a key voice and leader for young conservatives in America. And there has been a lot of discourse surrounding his murder following the extremely distasteful rhetoric on Kirk's recent death. President Trump is getting tough on political violence happening in our country. And for more on this, we are joined by former Trump campaign advisor, longtime friend of the president, and my dear friend, there he is, the best dressed guy in America, as you can tell, even right now, the great Roger Stone. Roger, you know, as we're talking about Charlie, it's still just really incredible to me. I know you knew Charlie well, too. And as we look at what happened, and then we see the vitriol and what's happening online and some in the media, what is your reaction to just some of the incredible statements we've heard from people who never even met Charlie Kirk, and yet they seem to weigh in very, very vicious ways?
Well, Rita, first of all, I'm still really in shock. See, I really didn't know Charlie Kirk until the FBI raided my home at 6 o'clock in the morning. 29 heavily armed FBI agents in full SWAT gear swarmed my home in a spectacle that was staged for CNN. Charlie reached out to me. We didn't know each other. And he said, "This is outrageous. You're being framed. There is no Russian collusion. We both know it." And he became both a public, but probably more importantly, a private advocate for clemency, for a pardon for me, which is the only reason I'm able to be with you today. I came to love the man. He was enormously talented. He also confided in me. I think I'm free to say now that he did have political aspirations, that he was thinking about a potential future race for governor of Arizona. And yes, someday I think he aspired to be president. I think he had the faith and the principles and the discipline and the drive. Could have been a great presidential candidate. Could have someday been a great president. So I'm still in shock about this, but I also am concerned that some on our own side will take the wrong conclusions. Look, I was censored in 2017. I had almost 1 million followers on what was then Twitter. And then out of the blue, without explanation, I was banned. Then I was banned on Facebook. Then I was banned on Instagram. Then I was banned on YouTube. What was my sin? Supporting Donald Trump and questioning whether the Russian collusion hoax was a fraud. Charlie Kirk himself said it. There is no such thing as hate speech. In fact, the First Amendment is specifically designed to protect the most repugnant, disgusting, offensive speech. That's the American system. Free speech that we revere. And therefore, those who say, "Oh, the left censored us, so now that we're in power, we should censor them," Charlie would not have agreed. He would not have approved.
You know, very powerful statements, too. Do you think, though, obviously there's a difference, certainly, between words and clearly actions, and also incitement? Explain how you believe the difference is, because when you hear some of the words, and I think of even, we were just talking about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez and Ilhan Omar, some of these words, and some of the words that I've heard from J.B. Pritzker and Brandon Johnson, like in Illinois, in many ways it's inciting. And then we have seen even President Trump going after a lot of these groups that he believes are playing a role too. Explain how that's different, because clearly that really reaches a different level than just free speech.
Absolutely, Rita, you're exactly right. As they say, the right to free speech does not give you the right to yell fire in a crowded theater. And I think where the president's doing the right thing is going after and rooting out those terrorist networks who, while they use speech to incite people to mayhem, to violence, and to death. That's a very, very different thing. I think the president is exactly right about that. If you want to say Charlie Kirk was a horrible person, I disagree with you. I find that disgusting, but you're entitled to say that. If you want to say all of Charlie Kirk's supporters and those who loved him should be killed, you crossed a line. That's incitement. So I do think that there is a line, But by and large, when people call us names, that is what has created this atmosphere. How long can you call people white supremacists, bigots, Nazis, fascists? Because the obvious conclusion is, okay, then it's okay to harm those people or kill those people. So I'm not saying that speech should not be monitored and that there are those who cross a line, but wholesale censorship is not acceptable, and that's not what we should achieve. The president, the vice president, particularly, and Stephen Miller, very effective on this week, going after Antifa, which is a terrorist organization. I also would leave you with this. In the wake of Charlie's brutal assassination, you didn't see Trump supporters and those who love Charlie Kirk burning down cities, destroying public and private property, hurting people, killing people, as you saw in the Antifa BLM riots in 2020. What you saw were prayer vigils, not just in this country, but around the world. Could there be any more stark difference between left and right than that?
Yeah, absolutely. What a contrast. And Roger, before I let you go, you just said also that beautiful story that you shared about Charlie coming to you in your most sort of, very difficult, dire time. And also that you saw big, big things for him ahead. President Trump is also going to be honoring him, of course, with the Medal of Freedom. Your thoughts about what's ahead, and also tomorrow is going to be a very powerful tribute.
I think that there are two figures in this country who really changed our politics and really mobilized and galvanized the movement. The first one was Barry Goldwater. Out of the ashes of Goldwater's defeat came the movement that ultimately elected Ronald Reagan president and went on to elect Donald Trump president. Charlie Kirk now will go down in history as one of those public figures, and his tragic death will have galvanized and mobilized an entire generation of young people. Look at the fact that Turning Point has now had over 48,000 people contact them wanting to start new chapters, overwhelmingly in high schools, which is an excellent sign because those are the students who are being constantly pushed the Marxist, progressive, atheist line by public school teachers. So Charlie Kirk, in his death, will change the course of history.
Yeah, I agree. And he's already having that impact already. Roger, thank you. And thank you for just sharing those really beautiful, powerful stories, too, as well. Really wonderful to have you here, my friend. Thank you.